let's turn our attention to that extraordinary story this morning about IPSA. That's the independent body that sets things like MPs' expenses after, of course, that big expenses expose we saw back around 2008-9. And extraordinary that MPs are allowed to claim for their Christmas parties for their staff on public expenses. The taxpayer is going to foot the cost of their cheesy wotsits and the few dried sandwiches ordered from the local supermarket, but not, interestingly, not alcohol. But have they really read the room on this front? Let's talk to Elliot Keck, who's Investigation Campaigns Manager at Taxpayers Alliance. Good morning to you.
Morning, Julia.
Thanks for joining us. I mean, it is extraordinary that IPSA have made this ruling. So you can pay, MPs can basically get taxpayer to pay for their Christmas cards, for their any food, any refreshments, as long as it's not alcohol, and indeed decorations as well for what sounds like the worst Christmas parties ever. But at a time when people are genuinely struggling, their constituents are really worried about putting the heating on and paying for Christmas, there's just no justification for this, is there?
I think it's an absolutely extraordinary story, and we should be, sympathetic to MPs just for a moment. It's not them that have made this decision; it is IPSA, and hopefully MPs will see sense in this. But the most extraordinary part of the IPSA guidance is that they've been told that it must represent value for money. Now, I don't know what a value for money Christmas party looks like for the taxpayer. I don't know what sort of Christmas party at an MP's office represents good value for taxpayers. It's just astonishing. It is,
isn't it? I mean, if you're an individual, you have to pay for it yourself. Private companies, though, I think can claim for their staff. There's a tax rebate on paying for a Christmas event once a year. And again, that's something, but you pay for it yourself, but you just pay late there's tax as a result. As the MPs are effectively private businesses, aren't they? They're private employers. And that's been one of the issues with how they employ their staff. It seems to me they're already paid by the public purse to do that. They should just have the same system as everyone else.
Well, indeed, and critically, the customers of MPs are obliged to pay them. We are obliged to pay our taxes. Customers can choose not to pay for the products that the businesses produce if they're not happy with the Christmas parties. And MPs are already getting more expensive. Our latest research found they cost about 132 million in the most recent.
Well, haven't they all hired a load more staff and got a whole load of new computer equipment because they all worked from home for a couple of years?
Well, exactly. So the cost went up about 5% in our latest research. And you pointed out that they're not allowed to claim for alcohol, but they can just go to one of the many subsidised bars in Parliament and get a drink there.
Well, as do, there are about 5,000-6,000 people who work in Parliament, and a lot of them do that as well, including a lot of the journos writing those very, very stories. I have to say, a lot of mess and nonsense is talked about MPs' expenses. When you say, they claim, 200,000-300,000 a year or whatever it is, that is for paying staff who answer letters and deal with constituency issues, paying for a printer, for notepaper, for, heating their constituency office. We're looking at most of that money goes on genuine, legitimate stuff. It was the nonsense about, I'm just going to have two massive flat screen tellies in both of my constituency and my Westminster home, and I'm going to expect the taxpayer to fund that. That's where they took the mick, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Listen, MPs need to run an office, and they have a staffing cost and an office cost that absolutely reflects the need to do that. But I think, for them to be allowed to claim for Christmas parties in this year of all years, it is astonishing. And I think IPSA needs to put an end to it.
They really do. Elliot Keck, from the Taxpayers Alliance, thank you very much.